My name is Garrett Yoogurt on Twitter, YOOGRRTT. Thank you so much for tuning into the Now Notation YouTube channel. Welcome back to another album review. Today we are talking about JUMEX. JUMEX is somebody who's definitely been on this channel before, done many reactions. There's never really been a full-on review to do, I guess, because there's never been a full actual release from this guy. So if you will, this is the debut album, debut EP from this individual, and he's definitely, again, kind of, I feel like if you want to know my full complete long edition feelings, just go look up the word JUMEX on this channel and you will find a couple different videos where I have gone in depth on a lot of the songs that actually made this album. In fact, I would say like 3 out of, like, I don't know, I think 8, 9. It's not very long. Yeah, it's 7. So, like, a good amount of content from this album has actually been covered individually on this channel. So if you do want to go check that out, appreciate it. But that'll definitely give you an inside look of just, like, the chronological feelings that I've had for Mr. JUMEX. But going into this album, I didn't have too much to expect because I figured putting out a long-ass album as your first album is never really, like, the look people seem to be doing, especially when you're someone like JUMEX, where it's not like you're pushing hella fan base, or you had like a pop-off single like a Lil Yachty One Night or something. Like that could justify a longer edition of an album. But if you're really just trying to like get people's attention with a project under your name, definitely keeping it shorter is the way to go. I feel like you don't want to just throw too much out there because a lot of stuff just gets lost. There's too much music going on, so as condensed as possible is always a good look. And when you look at his actual album and you look at like how there's an intro track that's literally like 4 seconds that literally just says JUMEX, I want to die, or like JUMEX, I'm going to die. Like that's the aesthetic. That's a perfect log line that introduces the theme perfectly. But as far as like going beyond that, that's something that I have touched on a lot with JUMEX, where it's like, hey man, you kind of came out of nowhere. You had a song called Trapped that kind of took over the market with a way that was like, oh fuck, look at this new guy with face tats and like different color hair. Like that's what the blogs were running with, me included. There's a fucking reaction to that video on this very channel. So it's like everybody took notice and definitely started talking about it. But when you get to the point where you're putting out an album, I don't know, you have questions that you're going to be asking. But pushing forward and jumping into the track list, I will just say though, like, I do recommend this album if you've never heard his music and you are interested in like this underground rap scene, or someone who could potentially bubble up and blow up eventually, if not this year. But there's been a lot of like industry plant talk with this guy, and that's something that I'm just not gonna even touch on, other than the fact that I just said that sentence on this very review. But definitely I have talked about that extensively on this channel. So again, just check out those other videos if you're looking for more of a conversation like that. But track number 1 is Intro, Poppy Scoville. Track number 2 is Are You Down? Track number 3 is Trapped. Track number 4 is Loner. Track number 5 is Wish Me Death. Track number 6 is Alive in My Coffin. Track number 7 is Billie Eilish. And if you're going really, you eliminate the first song because that's not actually a song. That's just literally, it's 4 seconds, 5 seconds. I don't understand it, but it's there. It introduces it. It gets you knowing how he feels about the afterlife. But when you actually look at the track list and you discount that, you're looking at 6 songs. And then you already have heard 4 if you have actually been like known about JUMEX or actually been hyped for an album. Like if you've gotten there, you've heard one of these songs, if not all of these songs. So that kind of just leaves Billie Eilish at the end and Are You Down as track number 2 as like the new ones that are fresh and definitely have not hit people in the face in the same way that the other ones had the chance to. But I guess Alive in My Coffin didn't come out to the day of, but the thing with him is he always tags on a snippet of a new video at the end of the last video. So if you're watching a current video from JUMEX, it's going to tease whatever the next video is going to be at the end of the Alive in My Coffin, which is the newest video from JUMEX. At the end of that, he teased Billie Eilish. So that really just leaves Are You Down, Billie Eilish, and the rest of them are stuff that you've already looked forward to. So if you were looking for a large catalog of new JUMEX, if you're already tired of the ones that you've heard over and over and over again, you're not really getting that much content. So if that's what you're looking for, you're not going to find it here. But as far as like promising and potential, I don't know how to feel about it, because it's just one of those things where it's very easy to nitpick and talk about in a very like aggressive way where you're just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, why is this the way that it's being formulated? Why is he the one being the, like, why is he telling this story? What is the story beyond just like, I want to die and depression sucks? Like, it needs to go a little bit deeper than that when you're at this stage, at least in like how I feel about. We've seen the course of rappers who fake it and also just talk about depression in a different way, but like the very, very high use of like, let's talk about mental illness on his music is prevalent as fuck. Some of his first music videos, like the end, it was literally like his phone number, I guess, and you could like leave voicemails, which is all beautiful. I've touched on that. Like, that's not the part that you hate on. It's just the part that where like, when you get to the end of 7 tracks and you're just like, what was the point? What was the message? Where's the, like, it's consistent. It all sounds like the same person. The same person's telling the story, but who is the fucking person? And unfortunately, like, again, on my Alive in My Coffin or Wish Me, the last fucking review that I just did for his music videos, it's like the 3rd most recent video I've done. If you go look at that, like, I kind of go into it where I'm like, what is the point of this if I don't understand where you're coming from? Why are you talking like this? Why are you so upset? What's the deal? And like, I've seen him post on Instagram the day that this came out, like he did talk about the process of where he got to, and like, he basically got flown out, or people flew out to him, and then they made like 300 demos, and then like the best songs are the ones that he identified with most. Those are the ones that we're listening to now on this very album. But I don't know, man. It's just, it's so weird, and it's not like it's breaking fucking groundwork. I will talk about Are You Down? That one's cool. It just, the part where he's not screaming is arguably unlistenable, but when he goes in and screams, I'm kind of a fan of the whole like screaming thing that he does, and like when you look at him, you're like, dude, don't scream like that. Like, you just on face value, if you're gonna judge it like a motherfucker, like that's the judgment I'm gonna make, and I don't blame anybody else who has also made that judgment. When you listen to it, it's fine. It's probably not like traditionally, like if you're into screamo, like it's not good screaming, but it's definitely screaming that doesn't annoy me. So there was that. Trapped, cool single. Loner, catchy. Wish Me Death, probably my least favorite of the singles. And then Alive in My Coffin was really recent, super goddamn catchy, really cool music video. Check out my reaction. Again, didn't mean to make this whole review just an ad for the reactions, but there's a lot I've said about JUMEX on this channel, so like we've all kind of come to a head with these all being put together on a project like this, and you know, I can't just ignore it. That's not the plan here. And then Billie Eilish, you know, that one's catchy too. It's just not like my jam, but I don't know who is he talking about Billie Eilish, or is it just like using the name as like the clickbait, or just are they homies? Like either way, it's a cool song, but like as far as this being like the best album of the year, no fucking way. Best EP of the year, no fucking way. But I am interested to see where he actually does take the music and what we are going to be looking forward to as we progress down this rabbit hole that is JUMEX. Let me know in the comment section below, what did you think of this album? Thank you so much for the support on this channel. Follow me on Twitter at YoGarrett, YOOGRRTT. Instagram as well. Now in rotation on those 2 platforms as well. Take care of yourselves, and that is all, folks.